Hello and welcome back to Sunrise Tarot. My name is Leah and today I'm doing a reading for the sign of Libra for the first part of September, September 1 through the 15th, the first 2 weeks in September. Please remember that this is a general reading. There may be some parts that do not resonate with you. Please take what does and leave the rest. You may also want to check out your other signs. I've already meditated on the cards. I've already shuffled the cards. And this is the spread that I have for you today, dear Libra. In the past position, we've got Death, clarified by the Page of Wands. It's actually an interesting combination, and it's a pretty good combination because it suggests ultimately a new beginning that is coming into your life in the first 2 weeks of September. But Death is an absolute card. It means complete transformation, perhaps a change, perhaps a loss of a relationship that meant a lot to you that you didn't want to lose. It's definitely, for some, it's a pretty scary card. For others, it could just be that the way you think about something has changed, where it, is a pretty profound shift in your thinking of a problem or your approach to something in the area of your life. And the good thing is that Death is here in the past position, because that means that, this difficult time, dark time, painful time is behind you. You've learned your lessons from it. Definitely with the Page of Wands. The Page here represents someone who is a risk taker, someone who's on the younger side, someone who is kind of following his passions, his heart. He is still has a lot to learn, because we can see there are three mountains in this card, suggesting there are challenges ahead of him that he's going to be overcoming, but he's very determined. He is very ambitious, and he is on his way to pursue his goals. So the combination here with the Death and Page of Wands suggests that there is a new beginning that will, is going to be happening. If it has not already started happening, that is going to be absolutely great and very much needed in your life. In the challenging obstacle position, we have the Queen of Cups reversed and the Three of Wands. In the regular position, like in an upright position, the Queen of Cups is very loving, very caring, very loyal. She's someone, who really is kind of like an older friend, or like a mentor, a teacher, someone who wants, what is best. But in the reverse position, unfortunately, it is someone who's very manipulative, very kind of in a way emotionally immature, maybe someone who's bitter, someone who's definitely manipulative and kind of insecure and depressed, and someone who is maybe not always acting rationally. Sorry. Someone who's not happy and is using their emotions for constant negativity, kind of difficult energy. The Queen of Cups in reverses. The Three of Wands is about, generally it's a very positive card, because it's a person who is standing on high ground, looking at all his ships coming in, so all the opportunities that he may be pursuing, to achieve his goals. But in the challenging position, it, means a little bit the opposite, like lack of confidence, maybe feeling a little bit stuck, not having any opportunities, so definitely there is a bit of anxiety in this combination. There's definitely lack of progress in this combination, and it's very much oriented and kind of controlled by drama. So there's definitely someone in your circle, in your entourage, barrage that is causing, quite a storm of drama and unhappiness and maybe a little bit of rudeness, but definitely someone who is, kind of not feeling themselves really, and so they're creating all this negative energy around them. And due to that, maybe there are some missed opportunities. Due to that negative energy, low vibration energy, there's, maybe kind of lack of progress, self-imposed limitations, because, your energy is, directed towards negativity rather than positivity. In the present position, we've got the Seven of Pentacles clarified by Judgment. This combination is about reflecting. So there's definitely something that has been happening in your life in the recent past that may have created, a lot of kind of angry feelings, a lot of unhappy feelings, something, maybe work is not going as you have hoped, and because of that there's, a plethora of problems that is following you. And so in this present position, we've got the Seven of Pentacles, and that's about reflecting on where you are, reflecting on your situation, reflecting on what you have achieved so far, and how far are you from your goal. It's about kind of weighing the pros and the cons. It's about kind of taking assessment and trying to figure out what is in your best interest. If this is like about relationship, do you want to continue working on a relationship? You've already invested quite a lot into that relationship, and so you're sort of reflecting on it, trying to see where do you go from there. Judgment is of course brings clarity immediately. Judgment is a card that says, let's stop, let's pause, and let's look at where we are, take assessment, and kind of figure out how we move from here. It could, for some of you, be that you're looking towards the past. Maybe you're looking towards a person from your past. Perhaps that person has guidance, perhaps that person has advice, perhaps that person has love for you, but there's definitely something in the past that, some of you are kind of thinking of and looking, maybe comparing, your current situation with the situation in the past, and sort of trying to see, is this how you want the situation to develop, or are you kind of moving in a different direction? You're evaluating. That is what this combination is about. And of course, Judgment is all about karma. So Judgment is going to balance out the situation. Of course, for some of you, it could mean a court, like an actual court, maybe a case that is happening. And of course, Judgment usually means it's going to go in your favor. But it's also about balance between work and love, between, different relationships, between different obligations. And so it could be also Judgment as a reminder here. Make sure that your karmic connections are good. You can't obviously check every single connection, but for the most part, you want to make sure that, the connections are good, where karma can't come back to bite you. Where someone is not necessarily holding a lot of resentment. You want to make sure that you don't have any loose ends, if you will. In the future outcome position, you have the Eight of Cups and the Ten of Swords. The good thing about this combination is that the Ten of Swords is in the clarifier position. It may affect, it doesn't mean that you're actually, feeling completely and utterly just devastated, but there is an influence of that in this particular situation. The Eight of Cups is definitely, it could be about a relationship, it could be about work. It's this situation that's happening in your life, and I think you know what I'm speaking of. And, you really did put a lot into it. You really worked hard. You've invested a lot of emotions, maybe a lot of money, a lot of time, energy, and you're walking away from it because it did not turn out to be something that you thought, you know, it was going to be. Definitely, the Eight of Cups is a bit of a difficult energy because you're realizing that you're still, you haven't explored all the areas of your life. So you're longing to go off on self-discovery because you really do believe in pursuit of that happiness. You really do believe that you are moving, in the right direction, even though that may require sacrifice. And of course, the Ten of Swords is, of course, a pretty negative card. It means dead energy. This person is lying dead on a beach with 10 swords in his back. It could be that someone has used very hurtful words and you're walking away from that. Definitely, the Ten of Swords is a card that sometimes is referred to death by 1,000 cuts. Each word cuts deeper and deeper until, you just feel like there's nothing left in a relationship, or perhaps at work. Maybe you've put in a lot of effort just to kind of realize that it's not really going anywhere. The combination here is about leaving emotional baggage behind, walking away from perhaps all this drama that has happened, because you want to preserve the sanity that you may still have. Definitely a tough combination, definitely a bit of a tough reading, because you've got the Death, of course, and you've got the Queen of Cups in reverse, and you've got Judgment, and you've got Ten of Swords. A bit of a heavy energy. It may feel like a sluggish 2 weeks. It may feel like you're sort of kind of a little bit tired, maybe not in the best of moods as well, because you're dealing with some conflicting energies. You're dealing with some difficult, heavy vibrations that may create a lot of tension, but towards the middle of the month it should be getting better. Let's see if we can clarify some of this reading with the 3 energy oracle cards that I pulled, and they are Happy Family, Anxiety, and Strategy. So definitely, the happy family doesn't necessarily have to be your actual family. It could be a group of people that are very supportive over you, and you do have supporters. You do have people who very much care and want you to succeed and want you to feel loved and appreciated, and you do mean a lot. So the divine wants you to know that there are people in your life who very much care about you. We also have the Strategy, which of course means that you will have a new beginning that is coming about, and in that particular instance you have to make sure that you have a really solid plan, and that plan is going to require a lot of effort from you. Write it down, write about the direction you want to go, and consider any potential change in course that may be needed. Be aware of the particulars regarding your goals and have some conscious plan in mind. Structure the short-term goals needed to make your long-term goal a reality. You know what they say about plans? You have to write it down until until you can't. You have to look at it and keep figuring it out until you're so sick of looking at it that you can't just stand it. That is when you know that your plan has a really, really good chance of success. Anxiety is definitely about worry, and there's a lot of anxiety in this spread. So definitely, you can try and curb some of the anxiety that you feel with taking walks, with drinking water, with making sure that you sleep well. Even though it may be hard, you need to be actively in actively taking care of self, so that your body is able to stay healthy throughout dark periods, perhaps of or moments of your life as well. Anxiety has this woman on this card which is filled with worry about something that causes her a great deal of discomfort. Receiving this card may indicate you're experiencing a time of increasing stress. perhaps even a situation that you find yourself brooding about much of the time. However, if you'll notice the scene outside the window, the storm is distant and perhaps even moving away. Whether it's going on, whatever is going on, this card is telling you to release the worry and let yourself relax. Brooding and fretting will never solve things, so trust in yourself and your process. There are people who just, for them, anxiety is sort of a way of life. And, they're kind of the extreme, and it's difficult for them to stop worrying. I always suggest making sure you have windows, windows of time, maybe 15-minute window or 20-minute window, where you do something that is not ordinary, to remind yourself that there's happiness in the world as well. I sometimes will watch a snippet of something that makes me laugh, or I'll listen to my favorite comedian. Energizing yourself with positive thoughts is very important, and it helps you become stronger in overcoming problems. Let's see if we can clarify some of this with answers from the angel cards that I pulled. I also pulled 3 cards, and of course, we've got ask for help from others. We've got be assertive and no. Yeah. That's tough. Definitely you're going to have a little bit of tough time in the month of September. Looks like your goal is not going to be reached in the immediate vicinity. So the situation requires for you to adapt. The situation requires for you to look at it from a different perspective. Definitely ask for help from others if you feel like you're stuck, or you feel like there's a lack of progress. Make sure that you remember there are people around you who can provide guidance, which will definitely help you a lot. And definitely be aggressive. Sometimes in life there can only be one winner, and so in order to achieve that goal or to achieve that dream, you kind of have to be a little bit pushy and a little bit aggressive, depending on how much you actually want to reach that goal. And sometimes the answer is no, which can also be a blessing in disguise. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. And please feel free to leave any comments. I enjoy reading feedback, and it helps me connect with your energies as well. Also, please check back for the second part of September reading, which I will be doing next week towards the end. I hope you enjoyed, like I said, this reading. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you next time.